Okay, today I'm going to be discussing why you might want to spend 20 quid and get yourself a pair of camping slippers. Yes, that's right, slippers for camping, and one reason why you might want to avoid them. Number one, it means when you get to the campsite, you can take off your boots that you've been wearing all day, relieve that pressure, release the toes, allow them to breathe, and it's so much more comfortable not having to wear the boots that you've already been in for like 6 or 7 hours, especially if you've got them damp. Which leads me on to number two. If you take your boots off and your feet are wet, it gives them a chance to dry out, and the inside of these will sort of absorb that moisture a bit, allowing your feet to dry out even faster. And of course, letting your feet dry out is especially important in winter, where wet feet will just lead to cold feet, and cold feet around the campsite in winter is absolutely miserable. In the summer, I often walk around the campsite barefoot, which leads me on to point three. It's much better than walking around the campsite barefoot, because even though there isn't a really thick sole in these, they do offer a little bit of protection to your feet while you're busying yourself around camp. I keep getting little sheep nuggets stuck between my toes. Number four, it just makes it easier to get in and out of your tent when you're getting it set up at camp. It means you're not having to worry about potentially dragging mud in from your boots. Just get your boots off, put these on and wear them while you're setting up, and you can jump in and out of the tent without worrying about dragging mud, pine needles and other kinds of detritus, and quite often sheep dung as well, inside the tent. It's quite dry. Okay, here we go. I've gathered myself a nice bag of sheep nuggets. Number five, if your boots have got a soaking, it gives them a chance to potentially dry out as well. It means you could set them close to, but not in a campfire, or maybe just get them inside the tent where they might start to dry out a little bit throughout the rest of the evening. And number six, in the middle of the night, when you're lying there and you can feel your bladder has been filling up and you do not want to go out, but you know you've got no choice, you're not having to potentially put on wet, cold, damp boots, a process which seems to take about 3 or 4 minutes in the middle of the night. 20 seconds, slip these on, out you go, do your business, get back into the tent and back down and snuggled and back off to sleepy bye-byes. And those are my 6 reasons why I love bringing along a pair of camping slippers, especially in the winter. Now, there is one reason why I might want to avoid these. If you're going to be camping somewhere that's on a slope, or where the ground is really slippy, really damp, really wet.
Slipped and fell on the wet rock.
These might not be the best choice because they don't have a lot of grip in the sole, and they're not that waterproof. But for everything else, when you're camping sort of relatively dry, kind of flat ground, you're fine. And I have found that they will take a little bit of dampness and a little bit of rain and still keep your feet dry. These slippers in particular are the Nordisk Mose. They come in this little baggie here. They're super lightweight. I think they're like, I don't know, not very much, a couple of 100 grams at most, but you can hang this bag off the outside of your rucksack if you want, or put it in, but it doesn't take up, you can see that, it takes up very little room in your pack for the amount of comfort you get. And these are super cheap, 20 quid. You can get more expensive ones that will maybe be warmer, they'll maybe have better waterproofing, and you can get some quite expensive ones that have got much better tread on the sole, but I found for 20 quid these have worked really well for me. And I suppose one final bonus point is that it will cause endless amounts of jealousy among your fellow campers as they sit there in their cold, damp feet watching you loafing around in your feet of toasty comfort. And now, of course, what you need to do is go and watch one of my wild camping videos to put you in the mood to get out there and a circumstance where you might appreciate a pair of these cozy slippers. They do smell a bit. Thanks for watching.